Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Uh, Today I felt explaining this concept to you all and share this problem. This is a most commonly used asked interview questions, and the problem statement is quite simple. We have to find the maximum sum of the nodes in a binary tree such that no two nodes are adjacent. This is quite simple problem, but it takes a few time to understand it and solve it. So let us see what the question is. Given a binary tree with a value associated with each node, we need to choose a subset of these nodes such that sum of the chosen nodes is maximum. Under a constraint that no two chosen nodes in the subset should be directly connected. That is, if we take a node in our sum, then we can't take any of its children into consideration or vice versa. So what the question means is, we have to take, if we consider this node to be a part of our solution, then this both should not be in our solution, and this anything can be a part of our solution. And or if we consider this in our solution to be a part of our solution, then this should not be a part of our solution, this should not be a part of solution, and this can be a part of our solution. And if we consider this to be a part of solution, and this cannot be a part of solution, so maximum profit we will get getting maximum sum. Sorry, profit in the sense, I mean sum. So the maximum sum is possible is 5. So we have to find a way to find the maximum sum which can be attained with this. So in this problem we can see that taking 2 and 5 is more profitable, since 2 plus 5 is 7. Or we can take 1 and 5. This both can be taken, this 3 can be taken, any of the solution is fine for us. So 2 plus 5 is 7, or 1 plus 5, anything leads to 7. So maximum profit we'll be getting here in this solution is 7. So let us look at the some more examples so that we will get a clear-cut idea about this. So I let us suppose there are let us suppose for us, if I given an array like this, 1 2 3 4 and 5. I will increase the size so that it will be more clear. So if we have to first construct a binary search tree. So 1 will be our root node, and 2 is bigger than 1, so it will be right of it, and 3 will be again bigger than that, so it will go into the right sub-tree, and 4, which is greater than 1 and 2 and 3, so it will be in the right sub-tree itself, and 5, this is 1 greater than 4, 4 greater than 1, 2 and 3, and 5 will be also in the right sub-tree. So we can simply find alternate loads like this, or this can be another choice, or this can be another choice, or this can be another choice. So out of all this is a perfect choice, I feel. So 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9, and any other thing, 2 plus 4 is 6, 2 plus 4 is 6, let it be 5 here, and if we assume if 1 plus 5 is 6, so maximum is 9. So let us go into the approach how we will be doing this. So the approach is quite simple. Problem statement is quite looking difficult to understand, but the approach is very simple. So in the solution, what we will be doing is, we will be assuming that this should be a part of our solution, and we will find for the maximum in the alternate nodes. So the maximum in the alternate nodes in left subtree and the right subtree is 5. So we will be taking this as a part of our solution. If there are any nodes like 9 over here, and 2 over here like that. Then we will be uh, going with 9 and 3. And if 1 is not a part of our solution, let us assume that 1 is not a part of our solution. If 3 is a part of our solution, we cannot consider this. So we have to go to the left side, and this will be a part of our solution. And if this is a part of our solution, this cannot be a part of our solution. If there is 1 over here and 2 over here, and we will be traversing like this and checking. We will be if there is a 1 over here and 2 over here, this is the maximum, right? Let us go into the solution. The solution approach is quite the solution is very big to see, but it is very easy to understand. Let us go into the solution. I will be explaining from the main itself, so it will be more clear. So let us first our inputs will be in this form. We will be given number of test cases. The number of test cases t is equals to 4, and a array size of 5 will be given. Array size will be given. So array size here is 5. The elements of the array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And second test case, number of array elements are 5. And here we have 4, 1, 3, 5, 2 as the array elements, and array size is 9, and so on like that. Test cases will be given. So first we will take the inputs of the array. We'll take cin for test cases, and we will loop for t, and we will first in tree formation, first we have to form a struct node which will contain data and node star left, right, and parent elements. Okay. uh, Parent is not necessary actually. Parent is not necessary. Left and right is more than enough, and data is enough. So we will form a default constructor. Default constructor initializes the elements and this is a temporary dummy variable, and the dummy variable data is item we will be pointing, and the left and right variables as null, and this parent is unnecessary, and it will return the root of which it is created. So struct node, here we are creating a root and initializing it to the null. Okay. First, sorry, root we have initialized, and this is pointing to null, means nothing is there, it is not pointing to anywhere. Next, here we have taken the array size, and here we have taken the array elements, and root is equals to insert, means first element is considered as root over here, so we are inserting into the root is equals to insert root comma value. Where it will be going? It will be going into this this part of the code node insert struct node of node and int data. It will be taking the root node to which it should be attached, and that what data should be attached to that that node. Means suppose if it is 3, it is here, and we are given data value as 2, it should go to the left part of the subtree. So what it will be doing is, if node is equals to null, if it first time it is null, let us go with the example itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what it will be doing here, first if it is pointing to null, so if first when this when the loop is running over here, see, when the loop here a loop is running for loop for inserting all the values of the array. So we have to insert one by one element using this. First we will be initializing with 1, as it is the first element. We will make it as root node, and next 2 will this is completed. Now 2 will be coming into the picture. 2 will be coming into the picture, and 2 if data is 2 and the root value is 1. If data is less than node arrow data, means this is 1 and this is 2, but data is bigger. So else if data is greater than node arrow data is greater, yes, correct, this condition satisfies the condition. So we have to attach it to the right part of the subtree. And return node means it will be returning pointer to this node, and 3 has come again, so it will be again going into the right subtree, and again 4 and again 5, in a similar fashion. Now we have completed insertion into the tree. Now let us go into the main part of our solution, get maximum sum. So we have to calculate the maximum sum of the alternate nodes. We cannot consider consecutive nodes sum, so we have to calculate the alternate node sum. If node is null, return 0. If there is nothing, no array given to us, array is null, 0 elements in the array, then the maximum sum will be 0, so it will be returning 0. Next, if we are also initializing a map, because while we calculating this one, sorry, we'll take 5 over here, binary search tree, right? 3, 6, 7 and 2. See, if we are calculating this, 2, 5 and 7 might be the possible solution. Just let us suppose this might not be the solution actually, but let us assume 2, 5, 7 may be the maximum solution. But while calculating 5, we will be checking for 2, and while calculating for 5, we will be checking for 7. If there are 2 more nodes over here, if there is a 1 over here, and if there is 7 over 7 means 9 should be there here, 9 over here. Then in that scenario, while calculating for 3, we have while calculating for 5, we have taken 2 and its subchilds, and while calculating for 5 in the right subtree, we have calculated for 7 and its subchilds, sub grandchildrens. We have to not take a child, we have to take grandchildrens of it. And while calculating 6 also, we might be this 6 might be coming in any other solution, means there are sub problems in it. So while calculating for 3, we may come to a point where we have to calculate the maximum sum for 6, means 6 and its subchilds and its grandchildren's children and so on. And for calculating 1 also, we may arrive at the same position. If calculating for 1, we have to go for 3 and go for the subchilds of 6 as well. For calculating 3 also, we are going to 6. For calculation of 1 also, we are going to the same location of 6. So calculating again and again, this may lead to more complexity of time. So better we create a map, like in dynamic programming we memorize the values and reuse them in whenever necessary. So I am creating a map over here. So map here, map is created, and after map is created, now we have to find the maximum sum. Maximum util is maximum sum we are willing to from the utility function. The util function is described over here, you can see here. Actually I am declaring all the function definitions beforehand, because here we are declaring util function, sum of grandchildren function over here. But in C++, if we don't initialize the grandchildren beforehand where we are using it, then we need to use of the prototype of the function definition, so that it compiler checks that it will be created in the future, and no error will be passed. If we don't initialize the array over here, then there may be a chance of errors saying that grandchildren function is not defined. And so beforehand we have to define the function definition prototypes. Next, now let us look into the maximum sum util function. We will be passing the node for which we have to calculate and a map. This is already there, and these are the only two arguments which we need to pass over here. And if a node is equals to null, means no elements, so answer will be absolutely 0. If map dot find node means I have already said while we are calculating, I will show here. While we are calculating, 1 requires 6 and 3 also requires subchildren of 6. Maximum sum which can be possible when we take 6. So for recalculating, if we have already found it, then directly we are returning back the value to it. No need of processing and this all unnecessary steps. So we are directly returning back the map node function, map to the node. Now inclusive function, this is means that we are including that node, and this is excluding function. Excluding that, we will be calculating the next values. So in including function, see, and clear here, so it will be clear. So including, if let us suppose we are including this, then we have to include it's a grandchildren in the sense 5 grandchildren is 2 and 5 grandchildren is 7. So let us go into the grandchildren function now. This is the grandchildren function. Now let us see what the grandchildren function has. Now I will erase this part. Okay. Now let us see what is there in this grandchildren function. Sum plus get node of left arrow left and sum node of left arrow right of MP. We are calculating left part as well and right as well. If this node contains right value as well, this may be 4. So for 5 we will be calculating 5 plus 2. Sum is 5 right now in our hands, and node arrow left means it will go from 3 and it will reach 2. So 5 plus 2, it is 7 up to here. And node arrow left arrow right, 5 plus left arrow right, 5 plus 4, 9. 9 is the maximum we got here. So from this we will be getting the maximum value. If we go into the right subtree, then if here we have let us assume 6, it is already there. Let us assume, okay, some other value, let us assume some x value is here. Sorry, some x value is here, not here. Then it will check for 5 plus 7 or 5 plus x, which is greater. It will add it to the sum util function and returns the sum which it got from both left hand side and right hand side. See here, get max util node arrow left, it will go here and find the maximum sum which can be possible with including this or with excluding this. What will happen in excluding means, if we have taken let us assume we have taken this node. Delete all this. Yeah, it is clear right now. Then if we have to exclude, this node should be excluded, or if this should be included. Okay, let's don't consider this at all. And if we have a which we don't want to include this node, means we don't want to include 3, then it will be considering 2, that is node arrow including, where is that node arrow left, this it will be considering this if something is here like 4 like something, and it will find the sum of this and sum of this. So if we include this, we should not include this. If we include this, we can't include 2 and 4. If we don't include this, we can include 2 and 4 over here. So both inclusive. If we take that node, what will be the sum? If we don't include the root node, root means the sum node which we are pointing to, what will be sum, and max of it will be taken. So here max of inclusive of that node, max of non-inclusive of that node, means excluding that node, will be calculated, and it is will be passed over here. So then we will be reaching to a point over here, and this will return an answer over here, and this is the solution. If you have any doubts or queries, if you don't understand any point of time, you can feel free to comment in the below section. If you like it, please like it. If you want to share it, please share it.